my name is Lisa Erdely, and I'm here to talk about pheochromocytoma, which is a rare cancer of the adrenal gland. A pheo is considered a NET cancer, a neuroendocrine, and it's also considered a zebra disease, which in the medical industry is a disease that is perceived to be very rare, and therefore the symptoms of it can point to other diseases that are more common, and doctors tend to miss the diagnosis and give a misdiagnosis for something else. So it may be less rare than people think. Sometimes the discovery of the pheo or the paraganglioma is found in an autopsy or is found by accident. In fact, the pheochromocytoma group on Facebook has a thread of people living with this disease, most of which were found by accident or on a routine scan for something else. In my mom's case, the symptoms presented as extended menopause. So things like racing heart rate or hot flashes or irritability were chalked up to menopause due to her age. It's really important that we get the word out, as many people could prevent the horrible symptoms and diagnosis and eventual death if more doctors knew what to look for and what to test for. So some of the treatments. Once my mom was diagnosed with pheo, there is no set course of action. It's not a curable cancer. We were told that from the very beginning in 2010. So most of the traditional courses of treatment are or were actually developed for other cancers and are just being used to try to stabilize the pheo disease. So in our case, that means already the patient has anxiety, a sense of racing blood pressure, racing heart rate. Doctors have described it as when you're driving down the street and a child darts out in front of you on their bike, that feeling of racing and tingling in your hands. That's an adrenaline rush. So the patient already experiences that. And then in addition to that, there is no cure. So you tend to be in a cycle of scanning every few weeks or every few months, and always wondering and hoping and waiting that the next treatment will be the miracle, or the next treatment will stabilize it and have very few side effects. Patients don't know what their outcome is. They never actually staged my mom from day one. She could have been stage 4. They don't know. There's no solution. So it's an incurable cancer. Many of the treatments are difficult to handle. They cause skin toxicity and digestive issues and a host of other problems that can be unbearable. And so you jump from one treatment to the next treatment, always scanning. Your family's always on pins and needles. It's difficult to make plans 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, months out, because you don't know what the next scan is going to say or what the next treatment's going to be. So forget planning a vacation if you're retired, as my mother and father were. It's very difficult to live with, though my mom very infrequently complained about that. The most important thing I think for people to know is that there are easier solutions to diagnosing it than what currently is on offer. People can do some simple urine and blood tests to check for catecholamines and other markers that would have shown the tumor much earlier. Typically, by the time it's found, it's large and may have metastasized elsewhere. So it's important for doctors and people to know to watch out for disorders and diseases like this. Let's see. I guess really that's it. In closing, I think the most important thing that I'd like to get across in this video is that there are other cancers out there. Breast cancer and prostate cancer are the ones I think of most immediately, that were once not curable diseases and are now due to funding and awareness. And pheochromocytomas and paragangliomas, though they're not always cancerous, regardless of whether they are or not, they are extremely difficult for the patient and their family to live with, and may come back as cancerous even if they weren't in the first place. So the more awareness we can get, the more funding we can get, the fewer of these things will end people's lives, and the earlier they can be discovered so that a cure can be found. Thanks for listening to me, and I hope that people will be able to find the NORD page, that's the Organization for Rare Disorders, and donate and contribute and research more about both pheochromocytomas and paragangliomas. Thank you for your time.